There's this desire in our culture to sort of cram it all in. Like, okay, we've got these kids for 18 years, we've got to just stuff that knowledge in there. And it's the wrong approach.
I grew up in the Catholic school system in New Jersey, and it was very regimented.
As soon as you went to middle school, high school, it was strictly like, sit in your chair and let's write some tests.
Creativity, not as much.
I believe this passionately that we don't grow into creativity, we grow out of it. Or rather, we get educated out of it.
To Montessori school when I was super little. I think that's when I actually learned the most, was when I was able to express myself or apply my own taste to something.
I think creativity.
It's
how we take what the world has given us, how we blend them with the stamp of our own personal biography.
It's taking pieces of everything around me and reworking them into something new.
What's universal about creativity is that it's unique for everyone.
It's this historical view of creativity as being something a lone male genius does. And I'm very opposed to that view on creativity. Creativity, I believe, is something that often happens in the small acts of everyday life.
At a base level, creativity can be defined as the use of imagination or original ideas. And while this may offer us a good starting point, such a definition doesn't fully capture all of the inspiration, intelligence, and artistry of what creativity or creative people can be. It also doesn't capture how creativity can be learned or how it may be taught. If creativity is global and knows no geographic boundaries, how are schools around the world working to teach it? In an ever-increasing age of digital technologies, what are teachers doing with or without technological tools? How might classroom standards and a rigid curriculum limit a child's imaginative mind? What can be done to stimulate their creative brains?
When we look internationally, we see that there are two models of education that yield really high test scores. A model where there's almost no academics until around age 7, and the kids are just out in the world and they're playing and they're being themselves. And the other is the model where you've got 3-year-olds who are, finishing that hour of homework every night and they're going really hard. And both of those end up resulting in high achievement. One of them also has a pretty high suicide rate. I don't want to be alarmist, but the variable is our children's lives and their well-being and their happiness. And why would we want to gamble with that?
I'd say creativity is magic.
It's not about encouraging them to be more creative. It's about encouraging them to come up with their own solutions to problems.
Thinking without constraints, so flexible thinking.
I think creativity, just the word in itself and what it means to me, it kind of means that it's hard to define. Some people are maybe very artistically creative, whereas other people are problem solvers, and I'd still call those people creative.
One thing I love about creativity is it values people's emotions. Emotions is not always valued in our traditional classrooms.
Try to help kids figure out how they're able to remember and retrieve things the best way, because we all do that in a different way.
I think creativity is that moment when you kind of forget that you are here. You kind of lose your present moment.
As someone who loves math, I have to be creative when I'm thinking about problems, and I have to be creative in the way that I approach the problems.
So I really think about creativity as a life skill, and it goes hand in hand with solving problems.
Really good artists learn all the technical rules and then break them.